Hello again from my front porch, the Washington, D.C. edition. Actually, a lot of these may be Washington, D.C. editions for a while. But I'm here in my hotel room here on the 8th floor of the Key Bridge Marriott. In fact, you can see the Key Bridge back over here. That's off here in the distance here. See, that's the bridge named for Francis Scott Key, the author of the writer of the Star Spangled Banner, which of course is our national anthem, which holds a very special place in my heart. But so that's there, and then you can see farther over there. It's hard for me to see it necessarily this way for you, but farther over there is where our office is located. But from my room here, I can also see things like, you can see off in the distance, there's the Washington Monument over there. This whole big structure right here, that's the that's the Watergate Hotel. For those of you up on your history who know about Nixon and everything that happened with that, I want to stay there someday. I just got to stay there. And then of course that body of water you see there, that's the Potomac River. So lots of really exciting, great things to see right here from my hotel window. But I happen, the trip here, I booked my stay a little longer than I needed to because, well, we didn't know how long it was going to take. But we were very efficient. So now I have a little extra time on my hands today. And so I'm going to use it to check in with a few places that I haven't traditionally gone to. Because there are some spots that when I would come to D.C., most of them around Abraham Lincoln, but there are some spots that I would always religiously have to go to that I want to see. And I still like those things. And I will be seeing them again in the future. But I thought, you know what? Today, look, it's a beautiful day out there today. Today is a good day for me to maybe take a little time and check in with some other sites. So come along with me as I explore and check out some of these other locations in DC. Okay, so here I am about to go to my first stop. Now in the distance, for a point of reference, you can see over there is that pyramid-like looking building thingy. That's by where my office is. So my hotel, the Marriott, actually was up there somewhere behind these trees. You can't see it. But I'm going over here across to this island. Yes, it is an island over here. Come over here, you can actually see it a little bit better. But I'm going, this is the Potomac River, and there's this island out here in the middle of the Potomac River. I'm going to that island because it is named for Theodore Roosevelt, former president of the United States. Roosevelt, known for many things, including, the bully pulpit and all that kind of stuff, but he was our nation's first environmental president. He founded a lot of what we now know as the Park Service and got that ball rolling. Was a big advocate for the great outdoors. And so this island here in Washington is named after him. I'm going to go check it out. Theodore Roosevelt, a force of nature. As it says here, 26th President of the United States, but he also was inspirational in becoming a great nationalist, establishing national parks, monuments, forests, bird reserves, etc. And so this island over here, off in the distance, which once was called Mason's Island, was transformed in the 1930s from a tangled, overgrown mess into a living memorial to this great outdoorsman and conservationist. So, that being the case, it's time to go check out Theodore Roosevelt Island. Potomac River, and just obviously one side and one part of Theodore Roosevelt Island. I can imagine what this looks like when those trees are grown. I look forward to being back and seeing that. But there in the Potomac River, and then off in the distance, of course, you see the spires there. That's apparently the campus for Georgetown University. Contrary to popular belief, it is not Hogwarts. But here we have Theodore Roosevelt Island in at least some of its glory, at least from this side. And there's a big statue of Roosevelt up here too. Let's go find it as well. Here we are on the island. Walking trails go all the way around this place. It's quite the network of trails. But there is one specific trail we're going to take right now. That's the trail that heads up this way, because up here at the top of this hill, there's something really impressive I've been looking forward to seeing ever since I saw a picture of it online. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the 26th President of the United States, larger than life, which he pretty much was in life, conservationist and great outdoorsman himself, the founder of our National Park Service, President Teddy Roosevelt. Theodore Teddy Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States and one of my personal political heroes. He stood for a great many things that actually our nation could make wonderful use of today. There are a lot of people that say that, well, you know, he was a progressive, and so today I'm a progressive and I align with Teddy Roosevelt. Most of them don't actually align with what he stood for, bits and pieces perhaps. But Teddy Roosevelt was a unique individual, a man of his time, and a man who really helped establish who we are today. Thank you, Teddy, for being such a great inspirational guy and a wonderful role model for people everywhere to look up to. I know certainly I do. And here's another interesting little connection I have with Teddy Roosevelt. This particular island, while it was apparently purchased in the 1930s, it wasn't until the 1960s that it actually became the project that it is today, which includes that really great statue of Teddy Roosevelt. As you can see here, that actually occurred. It was dedicated by President Johnson on Roosevelt's birthday in October 1967. I can think of something else important that happened in October of 1967. Oh wait, that would be me. Now here I am on the other part of the island. It's a little hard to hear me because coming up here in the background, if you watch, you'll see these helicopters fly by. A presidential helicopter with a military escort. That probably means that there's, I don't know if it's the president or if it's the vice president, but it's probably one of them. I think I've seen when it's the president, there's two helicopters. There's only one, so it might be the vice president, but still, it's kind of interesting to be here and watch them flying up and down Potomac River. But speaking of the Potomac River, you can kind of see, well, there's some marshlands down here, but a little bit beyond that is Potomac River. But also you can just kind of see the tops over there of the Watergate Hotel over there. Over here is the Kennedy Center. And then I think if I bring you back through the tree lines here a little bit, you can just kind of make out, where was it? I just saw it. somewhere back in that direction, back over there is the Washington Monument off in the distance. So we're still in that neighborhood, still in that vicinity. All right, well, I'm going to get back up here on the trail. But I got to tell you, I love this place. This place is really awesome. It is, aside from helicopters or every once in a while an airplane flying overhead, it is so peaceful and quiet here. It's pretty awesome. But speaking of pretty awesome, I need to go check out some other places too. For my next stop, I decided to come to Embassy Row. See, that's what all of this here, around here is. See, it's all these other buildings and FedEx trucks. Embassies all here in DC. But this one specifically I wanted to come to because you see this one, I don't know if you can read that there, but this one is the Embassy of Ireland. This may be as, I'd love to go to Ireland someday. This may be as close as I'm gonna get. So here we are at the Embassy of Ireland. All right, so here we are at our next destination stop. This one is quite a bit more somber and more respectful. This one is actually here at Arlington National Cemetery, and this is only a small part of Arlington National Cemetery. It goes on for quite a ways. But I have been to Arlington before. The part I've not visited is this mansion back here, and unfortunately you can't actually visit it. It is the Robert E. Lee House here at Arlington, and it's closed to the public at this point. But the Lee House is named that because it literally was the home of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Prior to the Civil War, of course. Now, when Lee went off to fight in the Civil War, the property ultimately was taken by the Union. I mean, literally, you know, it's right outside Washington, D.C. You look off in the distance over there, and you see the U.S. Capitol. So you know, we're right inside. You know, it was primed in a position to be taken by Union forces. But anyway, during the Civil War, even before it was done, it was determined that the grounds of his property, would be turned into a cemetery for Union soldiers. Now, part of the reason for that was that, well, it was a little bit of an in your face, because then they thought, well, there's no way that Lee will be able to return to his home because now it's a cemetery. But even beyond that, though, today it stands as a memorial to Robert E. Lee. Even though he was Confederate general and he was in charge of all of those forces, still Lee also, yes, he was the head general of the Confederacy. But when the Civil War ended, when peace was declared, Lee himself personally did a great deal to try to mend those fences, to try to bring peace and try to bring the sides together. He did not continue to foster animosity. He promoted that, okay, it's done now. We need to settle our grievances and have peace. So this house stands not just as an in-your-face to the Confederate General Robert E. Lee, it also stands as a memorial to a man of peace who recognized that it's okay to be passionate about what you believe and to literally fight for those things, but there also is a time when you need to step back, compromise, and find peace. And, that's a lesson we all could use today as well. But here I am out again at Arlington Cemetery, and actually when I came in, you'll notice, I don't know if you can see or not, the flag from this angle. Well, you can see the flag pole. You notice there's not a flag up on top of it because the flag is at half-mast. The reason the flag is at half-mast is because there's actually a funeral going on today. And I actually walked right by it, and I thought about taking pictures and video there, but I thought, no, that's kind of tasteless. I don't want to do that. But I was able to capture some video of it from a distance. I thought that would be more respectful. But still, I felt very deeply honored and privileged to get to witness one of our fallen heroes being buried here at Arlington. All right, well, time to move on. The time is ticking away. It's time to move on to the next stop. Here we are at the last stop of the day. It was supposed to be a little more exciting than this. I'm here at Mount Vernon, George Washington's home. Unfortunately, you see that gate? That gate's closed and locked, and there's nobody letting people in. Although the shops down there, they are still open for at least a little while. They're getting ready to close down too, but it seems that somebody should have checked the information better, because while the place is open until 5 o'clock normally, today, during this time of year, apparently, until March, or through March, it closes at 4 o'clock. And guess who arrived just a couple minutes after 4 o'clock? That'd be this guy right here. Darn. But it is interesting anyway. So I'll be back. I want to come back. I've never been to Mount Vernon. Always wanted to, and I thought this was going to be the one. I should have come here earlier in the day and done some of the other ones later. But oh well. How are you going to know unless you try? Anyway, so it turns out I didn't even realize this. I'm not George Washington isn't someone I've studied a great deal of, but I know a bit about him. But I did not realize that George Washington actually built and started one of the largest distilleries in America, at least for his time, and that it continued to operate even after he died. And in fact, it went into the 1800s sometime until it burned down. Early 1817, 1819, something like that, until it burned down. And unfortunately, they never rebuilt it, and it just went away. I hear that in there, the archaeologists in the early 2000s, or in the late 1990s, early 2000s, they found the foundation, and they found all this information. They've been able to rebuild it and reinstitute things. And in the gift shop, they were selling actual stuff from Washington's distillery. Imagine if that had actually not burned down. Imagine if that had been running and functional this entire time. I wonder if it'd even still be in business if that was the case. But anyway, so I can't get in to see Mount Vernon. I can't get in to see this distillery. Apparently that was a big deal either. That was a surprise to me. They didn't have. But the reason I mentioned the distillery is because if Washington had a distillery on the property, well, you know what they had in plenty in the gift shop? That's right, shot glasses. and some really expensive ones, some like sterling silver kind of ones. I'm not that big of a Washington fan. I was willing to spend that much money for them, but they did have this interesting little thing here. See this George Washington, this little thing. It's got a little zipper on it. And when you unzip the zipper, and I'm sorry, I'm holding my phone, so I can't show. Well, I guess I can bring it down here. See, down here, you unzip the zipper, and it actually has, I can get them out. It's hard to do this one-handed. Anyway, it has a stack of 4 of these. So they're tin shot glasses, and they have his signature, his initial signature on them. They're tin shot glasses, and there's 4 of them. Now you might say, well, Paul, why are you getting 4 shot glasses for your collection? Well, because that's the only way they came, was in 4 shot glasses. But this bundle of shot glasses right here, this bundle of metal, of tin shot glasses with his signature on it, was actually cheaper than most of the individual shot glasses that they had in there. So, and I don't have anything else in my shot glass collection that is that's a set of 4. So it makes it unique. And trying to find unique shot glasses now, after I have so many, that gets to be a challenge. So leave it to the father of our country to help me come up with yet another unique way to add a shot glass. Now, they only say George Washington, notice. They don't say Mount Vernon. And there were some just regular shot glasses that said Mount Vernon. And I thought about getting one. I thought, no, you know what? Because I actually haven't been to Mount Vernon. I'm here where Washington was, and in the gift shop, and then in the store area, I read up about Washington, like the distillery and stuff. So I was fine getting the George Washington stuff. But I'm going to wait and get the shot glass for Mount Vernon until after I actually have been to Mount Vernon, because I haven't yet. I don't consider the entrance gate to count. But anyway, that was our last stop of the day. There were others actually I wanted to try to squeeze in that I didn't make it to, so we're just gonna have to have a sequel. All right, well, I need to get back to the hotel, grab my luggage, head on to the airport, and head home, at least for a couple of days. So, from my touristy day in DC, I guess, I'll see y'all next time from my front porch.